Hey, good morning. It's Danny P coming at you live from the garage. We're going to do a update video on the 2023 KTM 890S and my son's 2020 KTM 390. Let's do it. Let me spin this around. All right, so I made a video a couple of weeks ago of my new 2023 KTM 890S, and I mentioned that I had originally a deposit on the R. So I'm wondering, like most people are wondering, did I make the right decision? Too early to tell. Who knows? I've been off road with my son with these bikes a couple of times. Nothing too crazy. Some single track through some ruts and roots and mud and farm field type stuff, and they've both done really well. I don't think that I'm going to do anything too extreme with either of these bikes. Honestly, they just cost too much money to go throw around too violently in a trail. So as for now, I'm happy with the choice regarding the S versus the R. I will mention that I've had an issue with the S. Let's see how many miles I've got on this. 3 something, I think. 350. I'm sorry, 335. So I'm having an issue with the front brakes, and I believe it's out of spec rotors. They look fine, but I probably need to put a dial indicator on it, or have the shop put a dial indicator on them and see if they are truly round and not wavy. So what happens is when I squeeze the front brakes, especially the last few feet of stopping, I get really significant pulsation. It almost feels like an ABS type of feel, but it's like chatter, like uneven rotors. And I've reached out to the dealer. They're supposed to get me in there tomorrow and do some measurements. So we'll see how that goes. It still stops just fine. No real complaint other than that. So I have put a couple of parts on this bike so far. The first parts that I put on were the front sprocket, different style cover. It's an open cover. It allows you to easily clean out any gunk that might pile up in there versus the plastic full cover that comes on. And this gear sensor cover, so it just the sensor would be open to the atmosphere if you didn't put that on there. So yeah, it'll protect it a little bit. On the back side, I've got just spools so we can use the rear stand. And on the right side, I did the one finger clutch pull, and I gotta tell you, this was likely the best mod so far. It literally is one finger. It's so easy, especially when you're standing up. I found that I was having a hard time really manipulating the clutch with one finger and keeping my hand on the bar the way I wanted to. So installation, super easy. Price of the part, super cheap. Definitely recommend. It doesn't look so bad either. I will say that I tried the DCAT. So I bought a Black Widow DCAT pipe. It's just a straight pipe. Honestly, I didn't know that there was a difference in DCAT pipes, or else I probably would have tried the Aero pipe. But after taking all of this apart, you have to remove the left side foot peg assembly, the kickstand, the skid plate. No fun getting that in and out of there, especially more than once, and getting everything back aligned. The moral of the story was the bike sounded absolutely horrible. It was embarrassingly horrible, very raspy. I mean, if I put it back to stock, you know, it must have sounded bad. So it was the last thing I wanted to do after putting that pipe on there was to put it all back to stock. Man, that job sucked. But yeah, I don't recommend a straight pipe whatsoever. I know Arrow has a different style of pipe. It has like a mini canister. Maybe it resonates a little bit. But I might try that in the future, but no time soon. I also installed, this is called a crap flap. Don't ask me why KTM just can't fill in the gap here on the skid plate, but they give you 4 holes where you can mount their KTM power part for $70, or you can go on eBay or Amazon and find various different flavors of crap flaps and do that. I've also taken out the rubber inserts, which definitely makes it a lot more comfortable standing. And I also raised the brake lever a little bit, and super comfortable now. So I think those were easy adjustments to make that made a big difference. So I think that's about it for mods on this bike so far. On the 390, really haven't done a whole lot. It's got handguards on it, and we also bought a Resonator delete pipe. Unlike the 890, the 390 is actually just a resonator. There are no catalytic converter parts inside that box. So I do feel like that one would actually sound pretty good removed. And once I get enough ambition, we'll tear this one apart and possibly install that pipe. And we'll see how it goes. But other than that, the only other thing that I've done to this, well, 2 things that I've done to this. We've added the swing arm spools. And this is an aftermarket sprocket. This is a 47 tooth sprocket. Stock is a 45. So I also have a different chain on this to accommodate the bigger sprocket. This has made a significant difference in the way this bike runs and holds speed and picks up speed. The way it comes stock, it's just gutless unless you've got it high in the RPMs. And this really makes a big difference. Keeping the RPMs up gives you a lot more roll on. It does detract from top speed, and that's just fine. I have no problem with losing a couple miles an hour on top speed. It still does roughly 98 miles an hour, which for my 16-year-old son, more than adequate. I've also recognized and changed the turn signal bulbs to LED bulbs. You can see them in there. And it took me a while to find the correct ones for the 390, but my God, what a difference. These things are brutally bright. And the stock incandescent bulbs were absolutely crap. When I would look at my son in my rearview mirror and I would see him with the turn signals, I could barely see them. So these were a fantastic safety upgrade. They pull 10 watts, which is exactly what the OEM spec incandescent bulb was. And you get absolutely no errors. They are plug and play. I will say they were expensive. I spent $80 just on 4 LED bulbs, but they are awesome. So that's where we're at with changes to the bikes. I do have some aftermarket foot pegs coming for this bike, which will get rid of the slant. So we'll show those when they show up, and we'll do a comparison between the OEM and the aftermarket. And I think that's about it for now. You know what? One more thing while I'm thinking about it. Cruise control on this bike is here. I love cruise control on a motorcycle. I've never had it before. I've always had some sort of a throttle lock or some silly gadget, that you rest your wrist on. But this is true cruise control. You turn it on, you increase or decrease just like you do in a car, and you turn it off that way. And it holds absolutely perfectly. It's just really, really good. You know what? There is one more thing. I've turned off the quick shifter on this bike. So it's part of the tech pack. I gotta say, honestly, I think the KTM quick shifter sucks. I've heard that there actually might be a software update already released for the 2023. And gosh, I'll say it needs it because I shift better than this quick shifter does. So I've electronically turned it off, and I'm back to old school clutch or clutchless, however you'd like to do it. But I think the quick shifter is crap. All right, so that's it for now in KTM land. You know what? Let's show the gear. Why not? So I did buy a Tourmaster jacket that I gotta say, really loving it. Got my son a Joe Rocket jacket. We've got some HWK pants. These are not high dollar pants. Matter of fact, got them on Amazon, and they're fantastic. They're waterproof. They're super comfortable. They're padded, and they're freaking comfortable. So I'm not gonna feel bad tearing them up, but they're holding up great. Got some Joe Rocket gloves. My son, he's got to be stylish, so got him some Alpine Stars, and I'm wearing the Tech 7 boots. And we also picked up some matching helmets. And I got to say, really, really liking these. These are the AT 950 Scorpions, and yeah, they match the bike. They've got the front that lifts up. They're modular. We've added communicators to both helmets so we can chat. And these are the Joe Rocket gloves that match as well for some hot weather riding. So yeah, lots of purchases. We're enjoying everything, and we'll keep the updates coming. Peace.